Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel God Will Do It For You. My name is Steven. I hope everyone's having a great day so far. And what we're going to be talking about today is when God gives you the blessing before you're ready, and why He does not do this. And I'm going to actually give you a personal experience that definitely happened. I've actually had two personal experiences where I've prayed for something and it actually happened, but it was for a bigger lesson. And we're going to definitely get right into this. But first, we're going to get into the Bible where it clearly says exactly why this won't be ideal to receive the blessing before you're ready for it. We're going to go to Proverbs Chapter 20. We're going to go down to verse 21. And it simply says, "An inheritance gained hastily in the beginning will not be blessed in the end." So that means when you get if you were to get something before it was time for you to get it, you very well, by the time everything is all said and done, it will either be gone or you will lose it. You will mishandle it. It won't become exactly what it should have been because you went out of your way to acquire it. Now for me, in this particular instance, when I was going to get custody of my son, I was like, hey, you know what? I had to quit my job. I took all the money out from my 401k, so I had a good bit of money in my 401k. Surprisingly, like I said, I got the best lawyer in the city as God instructed me to, and I fixed the family house with God's instructions. And inside of me, though, I was like, well, this would be the prime opportunity to devote myself to be a full-time music producer, something that I clearly was not ready for now that I know what I know now, and just based off of the level of experience. But what I was noticing is, devoting myself into music 8 hours a day, there was tremendous benefits. The knowledge that I gained, how fast I did because I had the time to actually work on the keyboard, it was beneficial. And I remember that, excuse me, I was working on a particular project and someone from the industry reached out to me. And the crazy thing was, it was someone from the industry, and they worked with an artist, and my favorite song for the artist, they actually helped create it. So this was a big opportunity. This is a big deal for me because I'm like, okay, finally, I've been working on this for a month now. I'm putting material out there a lot quicker. In my opinion, I'm gaining an expertise and technique and things of that nature. And he reaches out to me and says, hey, I want to send you some things, and just tag me when you post them. So the first thing that I created from him, he loved it. He shared it. He posted it on his own page. He was like, oh yeah, man, keep it coming. And the second thing that he sent me, I made a silly mistake. And that silly mistake caused him to back off completely. And I mean completely. And I realized that I wanted the blessing, which is to become a full-time music producer, way ahead of when I was ready, because I think now I'm just like, man, it was such a stupid mistake. It was just really so silly, and I could see why he backed off, because the crazy thing was, once I realized what I did wrong, I tried to reach out, and then I even gave it like another year. I reached out, and he just, again, you never recover what I had lost at that time. And the perspective I had gained, believe it or not, this past weekend, after all of that, was because I was like, well, why did God, allow that contact to come in place, knowing that I was going to mess it up? And then it hit me. He just wanted to show me that the blessing is real. That if and when you get to a certain point and you're actually ready, when these opportunities reach out to you because they will recognize where you are, you won't mess it up next time. I just wanted to show you that I hear you when you're in your prayers. I know what you dream and desire. I'm going to give you a taste. I'm going to let you see and experience it a little bit, but also I'm going to let you succumb to the failure of what happens if you were actually to acquire this before you are ready. And that in its own hit me perspective-wise, because that was years ago. That was years ago. That was back in 2021. So just think, 4 years later, now I'm like, okay, I get it. 4 years later. Same thing with the relationship that I had 2 years ago. Before this person came into my life, I prayed everything that you thought you could pray to the T. And then this person came a week later into my life, and they checked every box. I was kind of surprised. I was like, this is a joke. I was like, this is a dream come true. Well, lo and behold, me and that person aren't together anymore because of an unintentional mistake that I made. So God gave me the blessing, which is showing me that there is a woman that is exactly what you think that you like, but plus some. You know, there are women out there that have great parents that have raised them right. And these women know how to recognize what they need to recognize, but they're also not going to tolerate what they don't need to tolerate. And if you are not ready as a man, you will lose that person. So again, it was another perspective to me to say, hey, you know what? It wasn't that he wanted it to fail, but sometimes God will use things to not only show you that the blessing is real, but also get that fire lit up under you to say, okay, what do I need to work on so that way I can be prepared for it when the time is right? So if you're that type of person that you're like, I'm ready for a husband, I'm ready for a wife, I don't know what's going on, blah, 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 blah. That's where you got to start talking to God and saying, hey, what is it that I need to work on that you haven't ran this person across my path just yet? Now, if you're just sitting inside the house all the time and relying solely on dating apps, you know, you're hitting a low percentage. But if you're like, hey, God, why? And what do I need to do to improve to be ready? You just watch what starts to happen in your life, because I made that prayer before 2 years ago, and it completely changed everything that I had to go through to who I am now. I wouldn't regret it. It was hurtful. It tore me apart internally, but God knew that it's going to take something that you really care about, something that's going to force you to be like, you know what, I've got to change. And for me, it lets me know now when I'm working towards my goals and anything of that nature, and it gives me that confidence, assurance, and also just lets me know that I have to work on my patience, that everything's going to be all right. It's all going to work out when it's supposed to. If God just threw it at me in an onslaught, it very well can mess it up. And there aren't too many perfect scenarios, situations that come into your life. I can kid you not. As a man, your ideal type of woman doesn't just walk in and out of your life easily. You have to be a particular type of person. You have to be ready. And that's when God will have whatever he has for you, whether you're male or female. It's the same thing with goals in life. It's just now I'm realizing, okay, and the reason why nothing's happened yet is because there's still work that needs to be done. You may think that you're ready. Well, show consistency being ready. What did David do? David showed consistency that he will do the best that he can to handle those sheep in the shepherd's field. And he had to do it consistently for a while. Then the time came to put test after trials and tribulations. Then the time came where, okay, now here's Goliath. Let's see what you've learned. And when he passed the test, guess what? Even though he was anointed by Samuel, God didn't say, okay, I'm going to let something happen to Saul right now, have him moved out the way, and I'm going to allow you to be king as a young man. God let him know that the blessing was possible by allowing him to defeat someone that was great, that his adversaries, even his own people, could not defeat, and then allowed him to go into the palace to experience how it is. So then at that point, he saw Saul in his position of power, and he saw how people were crowding him and praising him and giving him thanks, and he got a taste of it. The conduit of that, though, was Saul was sitting there hating, and we did just go into a whole nother discussion. So this is why God does not give us what we pray for right off the bat sometimes, is because he knows that you will mess it up. He's like, and it's not that you would intentionally do it, because it was unintentional. But sometimes unintentional mistakes have dire consequences, and even permanent ones. Sometimes you can't get those opportunities back, and then you have to wait for the opportunity to come again when God says, okay, now you're ready. Now that you've learned that lesson. And even then, it goes the opposite way for both people. Let's say you were a person that let someone go, and then you realize later on down the road that that was actually a really good person that you let go, and people make mistakes. Or same thing with an opportunity. You're like, you know what? I see now that when that opportunity came, I could have easily capitalized on that, but because I didn't have the right mindset, I thought of it as this, I didn't think it was good enough. Now I have to wait for another opportunity to come around, and it may take you another year or so. Whatever the case may be. Maybe the doctor says, hey, we need to get on top of this health issue now. Right now you're in great health, but we see this coming on. You might want to just start doing these things to get ahead of it. 5 years go down the road. Now that issue's grown, and now they're saying, okay, we need to do surgery. And you're like, why didn't I take it serious when I was first knowledgeable of it? Now, the blessing of good health, now they have to go in there and tinkle with my body and this and that, and I have to hope and pray that everything's going to be all right, when you could have been proactive and did the intentional work ahead, so that way you could be ready for a better future health-wise, spiritually, financially, however you see yourself. So I just want to give you this personal experience, and just know that if you're waiting on something from God and you haven't received it yet, it's not because he does not want to give it to you. He's proven to me that he can give it to you. He's proven to me that it's out there. He's proven to me that I can get it. So with that, it gives me the assurance to know that don't worry about nothing, because you're going to get it when you're ready and when you won't fumble the bag. So I hope this video's been a blessing. If you feel led to like, share, subscribe, definitely do so. Otherwise, have a great week. It's raining, getting rid of some of this pollen, and we need it, so rain away. Otherwise, stay safe. Again, like, share, subscribe if you choose to do so. And until next time, have a great day.